Welcome back to Buffs Hoops Weekly. I'm your host, Matt Spivak, with episode 3. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Montana State coming to the CU Event Center for the season opener of Colorado men's basketball on Monday, November 3rd. Let's get straight into it, talking about going to be overviewing Montana State, what they look like, and some expectations for this game. So let's get right into that. Montana State plays in the Big Sky Conference. They finished 5th there last year with a 9-9 record in the conference and 15-18 overall. They're coached by Matt Logie, who's entering his 3rd season with the Bobcats with a 32-36 record. And he is a great head coach. He's really won everywhere he's gone. He started his career at the D3 level with Whitworth University. He coached there for 8 years, taking the team to the NCAA tournament in 7 out of his 8 years, which is pretty astonishing. And then he moved up to the D2 level, head coaching Point Loma University, where he brought them to the March Madness in 3 out of his 4 years coaching there, which was actually the most he could have gotten to, with the 2020 tournament being canceled. So now, as I said, he's entering his 3rd season as the Bobcats head coach. In his 1st season, he actually did take them to March Madness at the D1 level. They did lose in the first 4, but nonetheless, he made the tournament with all 3 teams that he's head coached so far at all 3 different division levels, which is really almost never been seen before. I think only one coach has only ever done that. So they're going to be leaning on him a lot for just getting this team ready. As I'm going to mention, they need to make up for a lot of production. So on that note, they lost 4 out of their 5 starters from last year, the only returner being Patrick McMahon, who played 23 and a half minutes for the team last year. The other 2 returners who played significant minutes are Jed Miller, who played just under 18 minutes, and Jeremiah Davis, who played 7 minutes for the team last year. The team also lost 7 of its 8 highest point scorers, highlighted by their best player forward, Brandon Walker, who led the team in points per game, rebounds per game, was 2nd in field goal percentage, was also 2nd in three-point percentage. So Logie has a tough task ahead of him, trying to replace a lot of this production with a lot of transfers and some younger guys. So now we get into Montana State's key players. I already mentioned it, but I'm highlighting Patrick McMahon as the lone starter from the team last year. He's also the longest membered Bobcat, been on the team since the 21-22 season. So this is actually going to be his 5th year on the team. He did redshirt that freshman year. So he's been around the team, knows the culture, understands what they're trying to do there. Last year, he started just 18 games. He started kind of in the beginning of the season, and then towards the end, he was the 6th man off the bench. He was 2nd in field goal percentage on the team and 3rd in scoring. So that those numbers are pretty good, and they're looking for those to bump up with more, the ball more in his hands and more time on the court. As I mentioned, he did start the first 18 games with the squad, and then shifted and actually thrived in that 6th man off the bench role. He ended up breaking his career high in points 4 times in the last 6 weeks of that season. So he scored 20 against Sacramento State on January 30th, and then 21 against Portland State 2 days later, so broke it just 2 days later, and then broke it again with 22 against Montana University, and then broke it again in the last regular season of the game with 23 against University of Idaho. So the Bobcats are really looking for McMahon to bring his ending to last season, all that momentum, bring that into this season, and hopefully start off on the right note. Now let's head into look at the Buffaloes a little bit. I've already talked a lot about the players that we have, and what the Tad Boyle and his staff are kind of looking for, and they still don't know exactly who's going to start and what the rotation looks like. But I'm going to be predicting some starters for this game. I thought that would be kind of fun. So I'm going to go with, for point guard, I'm going to go with Barrington Hargress. At my shooting guard, I'm going to go with Isaiah Johnson. Not really a surprise there. My small forward, I'm hoping Sebastian Ranchik's going to play. He's been back practicing with the team this week. Not sure if coach is going to start him, maybe put him on a minutes restriction, but I'm going to hope that he starts. And then at my power forward, I'm going to go with Bangkok Dak. And at the center, I'm going to go with Elijah Malone. Now, just to talk about this lineup a little bit, Barrington, he's obviously the UC Riverside transfer. He's a junior, brings that experience, is the only upperclassman in this young guard room. So I'm going to have him starting. Although in his couple exhibitions with the Buffs, he hasn't been maybe what they've expected him to be as that kind of scorer, as last year over a 20 points per game scorer. This year, in his couple games, I don't know if he's even cracked 10 yet, but they're looking at him at many different facets of the game, looking at him to help the Buffs, reduce those turnovers, getting good passes, and as I said, that leadership aspect of the game. And then Isaiah Johnson, obviously, he's been balling out. Basically, in every chance he gets, he shows that he's ready to play on this stage. I see no reason for him not to start in this one. And then Tadbo has been mentioning he wants to see, he wants to see Hargress and Johnson playing together. From what he's seen from them so far, he likes kind of them on the court together and what they can do. So like I said, for Sebastian Ranchik's, hoping he's going to play and be back. Since he's been at practice, assuming he will be, will it be restricted minutes? Will he start? Those are all probably just going to be left up to game time, and that will have to be found out then. As far as my forwards or my bigger guys for Bangkok and Malone, I see them kind of balancing out these smaller guards. Obviously, Hargress and Johnson are 6 foot and 6'1", so definitely on the smaller side there. With Dak and Malone, Dak being a 7-footer, Malone being 6'10", looking to balance out the size there, and especially since Montana State has some taller guards, I think Patrick McMahon, who I was talking about, I think he's 6'7", maybe 6'6", somewhere around there. So definitely gonna need some size on the court to rebound. And lastly, I'm going to just throw out a little game prediction for this one. I think the Buffs will win by 15 to 20 points. I think it'll be a similar game to Grace College where slow start possibly for both squads, especially with it being the season opener. But then I got the Buffs, as the game progresses, getting their feet under them and getting a strong finish. That's gonna wrap up this episode of Buffs Hoops Weekly. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for tuning in.